Some people have problems with caterpillars. Some people have problems with vine borers. Some people have problems with rabbits. And some people have problems with deer. In my garden, I don't really have those problems. My problem is rats. Come along with me. I'm going to show you how I deal with the rats. And I'll take you on a garden tour. Now you might recall from the video where I installed my irrigation that last year I planted my melon and squash patch full of melons and squash. Every single hole here, and there are 16 holes in a line and I have 6 rows. I planted every single one of these and nothing came up. And when my Uncle Kelly was visiting here earlier this year or end of last year, he told me that the reason why nothing came up was because rats and mice were eating the seeds. And so he told me to make squash cages. What are squash cages, you ask? These are squash cages. I took some hardware cloth and I just cut it out in an L shape and I bent it, and I was able to even make it all joined together without needing any extra wire. And I put one of these over each of the holes where I sowed seeds. And here you can see it, both here and here, both of the seeds that I sowed came up. Now I did come and re-sow a couple of these. So this is the first batch and this is the second batch that I sowed. But particularly amongst my melons, I've got a super high germination rate. So I've got 1, 2, 3 that have both of the seeds that came up, and I have another 1, 2, 3, 4 where only one of the seeds came up. But that is a super success in my opinion. So I'm really happy. These are amazing. Thank you so much, Uncle Kelly. And with that said, let's get into that garden tour. So of course the first thing on the list is my melons. So I can't remember what variety of melons these are, but they are doing fantastically. With a good amount of watering. They love the sun. Oh my word. There's no shade cloth here, nothing, and they are just, look at this, they're doing so well. This one's almost ready for me to take the cage off. These two I'm going to leave for a little bit longer. Here you can see again my melons. Here's 2 of them coming up. These 2 are the ancient watermelon. It's actually a type of watermelon that was found here in Arizona. So I'm very excited to see those germinate and to see them see the watermelon, eat the watermelon. It's supposed to be a very sweet and juicy watermelon. I've not been having great success with my squash though. This is the first round of squash that we planted. We did come and replant again, and this one is the second. Both of these, I think, if I remember correctly, are zucchini squash. So I'm looking forward to that. I really enjoy zucchini. One of the things I'm most excited about is this. This is actually supposed to be a Romanesco broccoli. Now, it's really hot now. I mean, most temperatures most days are in the upper 90s, so like 35, 36 degrees Celsius. And so this is not growing together as a nice head, but they are still growing nicely, and when it gets big enough, I'm going to harvest it and eat it. My corn is doing okay. I still have these big bare patches. I think they are, so this is partially the rats and the mice that eat my eat the young seedlings as they, or young shoots as they come up. But I did actually reseed as well, and again it didn't really help that much. Another big patch in the middle, but at least I've got a few, so we should get a fairly decent yield this year of corn, of mealies. I'm still excited. My big red cabbage is still carrying on. I think it's probably almost done though. And I've got a little cabbage here, which I'm not sure if it's actually doing anything. Gonna have to see. And my beetroot. These beets are doing pretty well. I didn't have tremendous success with them. And these ones actually came up this year, even though I planted them last year. My tomatoes are looking pretty good. You can see flowers. I do need to still string them up. I'm hopefully going to be doing that this week. I'm waiting on a few supplies. I think I've got some clips that need to come and some twine, and then I will be stringing them up. But I'm very happy. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 tomatoes that have survived. Actually, I've got, if you look over there, this little tomato came up by itself. This is one of the ones that I planted as seed earlier. And this tomato is actually one that I found growing in one of the pathways over on the other side of the garden, where previously I had that one big what was it, a porter tomato from last year. So that's another porter tomato that just started growing by itself. So I'm very happy. I transplanted it here and had a little bit of transplant shock, but it looks like it's surviving. Yesterday I thought it wasn't going to. But that's my tomatoes. Oh, and I do have one eggplant. So I'm happy about that. My transplanting this year has not been particularly successful. I think I was concentrating so much on getting the garden ready and not enough on the actual transplanting. On this side is my bean bed, and this is where most of the rat traps are because they've been really decimating my beans. Over here you can see down where my rat trap, right just above my rat trap, those beans that have been just eaten up by the rats. So I've not had any further problems since I started putting the rat traps out again. But yeah, I have been catching quite a lot of rats. I caught 4 rats this week, which is a lot. On this side, I've got another beetroot that's growing here nicely. That one's actually doing well. I've actually got some here as well, just to show you. They're also doing pretty well. I'm in the process of getting rid of this grass. You can see here that I cleared this area, I've cleared that area, that one's also clear. So my plan for this weekend is to start is actually to clear the grass here in the middle pathway, and then once I've got this cleared, then I'm going to put landscape fabric down, and then I should be over with this stupid grass problem. Anyway, back to this bed. My carrots are doing pretty well. Their germination was a bit spotty, but I'm seeing some come up here that weren't there earlier. So there and there, and there's a tiny one over there. So I'm really happy. My peas they're doing better than they were. They were quite yellow earlier. I sprinkled some more Trifecta Plus on there. I cut my watering down to once every 2 days. So every second day rather than every day, and that seems to have helped a lot. Also, hot temperatures. Peas are a cold water plant. cold weather vegetable. But yeah, I mean, they're doing pretty well. Even some of the smaller ones have like these small ones have peas on them, so I'm really happy. Flowers. My bees are doing their job. These are those purple peas. You can see the lovely little purple flower over there. So these are doing well. I have been picking, again, not as big a crop as I wanted this year. I planted a lot so that I could get a big crop. Not getting nearly as much of a crop as I wanted. Partially also again due to the rats that have been eating things, but we've been getting plenty. We've been getting, quite a few peas. You can see a couple there. We've just been plucking them and eating them as is. On this side, I wanted to show you my potatoes. These are seed potatoes that I purchased from Johnny's Select Seeds. These are organic potatoes. They just popped up literally this past week. It took quite a while for them to get to this stage, and they have grown so much. I can't believe this. This is about a week's worth of growth. They are just going at it. My comfrey. I need to plant all of this stuff out. This is my somewhat sad looking, not somewhat, very sad looking brassica bed. And most of the stuff that survived was not the brassicas. It's the Swiss chard. This stuff is amazing. You can use it in place of spinach a lot. And this stuff, it loves water and it loves hot weather. So lots of watering and it'll go well. My kale and other things, again, looking pretty sad. Some of it is surviving, some of it is not. We'll see. My asparagus, I transplanted some asparagus here. I don't know if you can see, they're tiny. But they are actually managing. The one, and there's this one as well over here. Again, more of my comfrey and more potatoes. These bags, this one, that one, that one, and that one are all seed potatoes from Johnny Select Seeds. And this bag is actually just some potatoes from the grocery store. I need to fill this up with compost all the way to the top now. They, as you can see, doing really well. And then these are my red sweet corn, and they are doing fantastically. Look at that. You know, they say knee high by the 4th of July. Those are higher than my knees. Definitely. And it's not even the 4th of July. In fact, it's not July. It's the beginning of June. I'm very happy. Gonna get a good crop of red sweet corn out of this. I'm very chuffed. And then this is my kind of lettuce and onion bed. You can see some of my lettuce has bolted. This is my tango leaf. We didn't really have the tango leaf much this year. And my onions are doing alright. I need to expose the bases of those. You can see some of my onions over here. They've been blown over, but they're forming nice bulbs. I've got a cabbage here that is kind of forming a head, and this is my Georgian southern collards. They've been pretty eaten by cabbage loopers, so I do get cabbage loopers here. It's not always as bad as some other places, although this particular time it is quite bad. I need to spray BT again. The BT actually works really, really well. And I have some of my lettuce. That's it's going. This is actually two heads of there was a head of lettuce here and I cut it off at the base, and this regrew. I need to actually harvest these. These are going to be really nice and sweet. Great Lakes crisp head, that's doing okay. They don't get very big, especially in the sun. But yeah, the bed is doing pretty well. The onions are doing quite well, so I'm excited. Alright, and that's the end of this part. Let's go quickly have a look at the apple trees and see how they're doing. The bees seem to be doing okay. So for the most part, my apple trees are doing really well. I've not seen any more flowers, which is a good thing because I want them to concentrate on growing this year. I did a bit of mowing here as well, just in between the irrigation places I could get the ride-on lawnmower to. And what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to put cardboard down here to inhibit the growth of the weeds. My aim is to actually take some of that comfrey that I've been growing and grow it here. So that it inhibits the weeds and the grass from growing. The only tree that's not looking so great is this one, but this it's as a whole, its stem and its branches are actually looking pretty good, and we have noticed a little bit of new growth on here. So I think the problem with this one is just that it gets the most sun out of all of them. We put the trees over here so that they could get shade from those trees over there, because the afternoon sun is the worst. The hottest part of our day is actually between 3 and 4 p.m. So those trees shade all of this area in the afternoon, but this one gets the shade the last, and so it really has the hottest part of the day. It has direct sunlight for far longer than any of the other ones, and I think that's what the problem is. I'm thinking of potentially putting up a little bit of a shelter here or something, see if that will work, but I need to figure that out exactly. I'm going to do that this week, hopefully, and maybe just some T-posts and a big piece of I don't know, plastic or something, just to try to help shade it from that sun. My eldest son's pomegranate is doing really well now. This one, we had a late frost and it almost killed it. And I think in my previous garden video you might have seen it there. But yeah, look at this. It's doing so well. And this is the Fuji tree that we planted last year. It's also doing really well now. And at its base I planted some comfrey. Look what I found! It's a hognose! We seem to have 2 hognose in our garden, and this is one of them. They will just stay very, very still if they think you're a threat, and if they get bothered more, they often turn over and play dead. I've not seen them turn over and play dead yet, but this being super still and hoping that we don't see them is very typical behavior. Well, thanks very much for joining me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the tour, and I hope you enjoyed our guest appearance. Also, These cages work really well. I highly recommend them. So that's a great tip that you can take home with you as well. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. And above all, don't forget to share my videos. Sharing is how my channel grows. I cannot grow the channel without your help. And talking of that, I am very close to 100 subscribers. So when I hit 100 subscribers, I'm going to have a giveaway. And you might have seen in one of my previous videos that I've got some merch. I'm opening up a store. I will leave a link in the description box below to my merch store where you can go and buy merch if you want. And I will be giving away one of those Neverbara Homestead mugs when we hit 100 subscribers. But more on that in another video when we get to that point. Thanks so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!